34 of them.
Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.
Yeah, welcome back. Diving for Glory, a podcast that looks at football as an obsession. I am your host, Pep Corciola, back on top of the world, if the world consists only of the EPL. Sir Solomon, what up?
What's good?
Yo, this week, amazing European results abound. Man City do their part, as do their neighbors. Barcelona look to put a stranglehold on La Liga. PSG lock up trophy number 2. And Crystal Palace put some distance between themselves and relegation. Also a recap of EPL, La Liga, and as always, the prestigious and egregious D4G award section. Diving for Glory is now attempting to post every Monday on iTunes and divingforglory.com, and now you can also find this on YouTube. Video coming next season. Man, follow us on Twitter at Diving for Glory and Facebook as well. Follow it, hashtag it, like it, whatever it do. Alright, just the cup, jersey tuck, boots lace. Diving for Glory, let's go. All right, man, we're gonna change up our formation this week a little bit. We're gonna run this 2-4-2-2, two man back line. Now we want to take this a little more chronologically this week, man, just because all the results are kind of intertwined, and we're gonna open up with European competition because it was fucking insane last week.
Lit.
Man, litness for sure. Champions League. Let's get it started. Alright. We're going to do this chronologically, man, starting off with Liverpool, Man City. I know I just said I was back on top of the world, but that was not the case on Tuesday.
It was not indeed. Liverpool blew the tops of Man City again. Mo Salah put the tie to rest after Man City had played a decent first half and scored a goal. Once the 1-1 was scored, it was done. Liverpool got a second later in the game, but
I'm gonna say that it was more than a decent first half.
There you go.
I'm gonna say they came out of the gates blazing, man. They scored 2 minutes in. Bernardo Silva was completely unstoppable.
Bernardo Silva has been unplayable every time they play him.
Dude, beast, dude. And like they got the goal disallowed by from Sané
wrongfully.
That
was a pass from Milner, so it shouldn't have been
should not have been
offside. Yep. And also Leroy Sané had maybe his 4th straight or 5th straight really below par game by his standards, and Raheem Sterling was off too. But overall, like, Liverpool coming in as an underdog with a 3-0 deficit after going down 1-0 early, like, they played the cards right, they got the goal, and then after that they put the tie to bed. There was times when Manchester City looked clearly the better team, but in those times, due to various reasons, it never came together. The referee, like, really fucked them, and our chances of seeing an insane game. But over the course of 2 games overall, Liverpool kind of seemed to have their number.
Let's not forget, man, Pep Guardiola sent off at halftime of this game. Current old school beef with that referee, man. I was not appreciative. Even trying to be neutral, I was not appreciative of the refereeing. I just felt like he put too much of an imprint on that game, man.
It was bad refereeing. Pep Guardiola knew he was going to get sent off. He just had to express himself because he was beyond. Like, he knew what was going to happen if you don't get the goals, and he lost his shit. He deserved to be sent off. That was actually, funnily enough, one of the few correct decisions that the referee made.
The one thing that I've been kind of resolute in is that I felt like tactically in the first leg, I felt like Pep got it wrong. He showed too much respect. He threw out a lineup he wasn't used to. And here he went all out attack. He did like what the hell was it? It was like a was like a 3-3-3-1 or something weird. It's like a 3-4
Yeah.
something. But it was all out attack. I just felt the personnel was mad sketchy.
Between this and the game we'll talk about later, we were watching it, and an observation that I made, which, funnily enough, like it's gonna look very, I don't know, here it goes. City, when Aguero isn't playing, is a very ordinary team. And over the course of, like, there's stats, no, because it's funny, because they give you stats that say without his and Jesus' goals, they would still be the champions. But, like, in terms of, like, executing the games, when he's at the forefront of this beautiful system, and everybody else gets to shoot when they're open, as opposed to tie the game or to score the game without any pressure, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he might not be running around and putting pressure defensively, but his presence alone opens up so many options.
Agreed. And I was floored that he didn't start. The only thing that maybe in my mind lets Pep a bit off the hook is that Aguero did not play this weekend. Apparently his knee is still injured, so maybe he wasn't suitable for 90 minutes. But fuck that. I say you put him out there and then you see.
Like, I mean, if he's hurt, he shouldn't play, but like whatever the reason is, Jesus is really nice and he does his thing, but especially on the big European nights, you need a veteran, and they're going to need to bring in a veteran backup for Sergio Aguero to go along with Jesus. Like, at the end of the day, the kid is what, 19, maybe 20 now?
Oh yeah, 19, I think. Still.
Yeah, so they can't rely that much on a fucking 19, 20-year-old in a big European game. So he would have been a nice option to have on the bench with a starter up there.
I thought the omission of Vincent Kompany was quite surprising as well. He's your best defender.
I get it. He's a man with a lot of muscle issues, and the way that Liverpool played, it's a good game to pull one of those muscles. Just save him, man. Let him play his World Cup. He's gonna be champion. That's cool.
I guess,
But
man,
it's funny how Man City played essentially the biggest game of their season without their best striker and their best defender. And PSG played their biggest game of the season without their best player. Like, these are the guys with all the money, but after spending a shitload of money, the biggest game of the season, your main guys are still out.
So I was totally disappointed. But like you said, man, Liverpool came and did what they came to do, man. Salah scored. Was it Mane with the other goal?
Yeah.
Off a couple horrendous mistakes by Otamendi and Kyle Walker doing his Tottenham type thing, doing his Spursy thing.
I don't know if it's so much just doing a Spursy as just like, if he's coming up against Mo Salah, like, he's getting beat. Like, it's not a fuck up or this or that. It's just every time we see them, the gap between the two is just that clear.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, the dude is like he always has a brain fart, man. Once or twice a game, and you just hope you can survive it.
This is not the guy you're supposed to be marking if you're gonna have a brain fart either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's true.
Especially this season, like, this is the hottest motherfucker out there. Like, you better bring your A++ game, motherfucker.
For sure. So City meet the guillotine. In Europe, they are out. Liverpool advances to their first semifinal in about 10 years. Major accomplishment there, man. They've been on the up and up since Klopp has taken over, and we were hard on Klopp earlier in the year. We got to give respect.
Once he got the defense set up, you know, like, I think only City has like more shutouts than Liverpool this season now.
Really?
Yeah, like they have like 14 or 15 because they overpower you with their offense so much that teams just sit back. They don't even try to come after them anymore.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And Virgil van Dijk has been a fucking absolute success. The guy, like, the term statuesque, like, this guy is as big and as cut as a fucking marble statue, dude, and he is clogging it up out there.
And it's
with Keita coming in next season, this team is, I'm sure they'll bring other guys in or whatever. There's going to be a couple of changes, but like with Naby Keita coming from RB, like, Liverpool is the biggest challenger to Man City next season, like, hands down.
The I would since
but
January
Chelsea's
1,
always there because they'll fire their coach.
True. But since January 1, you'd have to say that the top two teams in the EPL have probably been Spurs and Liverpool. Spurs have been pretty fucking sick since they haven't lost. They had not lost at home up to this point in the new year. They've been legit too, man.
I would lean more towards Liverpool because their league form has been wonderful, and they're also like galloping through to the semifinals of the Champions League, and they are. Like, you go down to Liverpool and you get messed up, then they pull out the big guns and they just, like, destroy you. Tottenham has been picking up a lot of 1-0s and stuff.
That's what they do, though.
But what I'm saying is, like, dominance is different. Like, the way that it's looked lately, Liverpool is just a machine, yo.
I agree. They've been a monster.
Yeah.
All right, man.
And we will talk about Tottenham's dominance pretty soon.
Moving along, man, to another a failed attempt at a 3-0 comeback by Manchester City leads into Barcelona trying to hold on to a 3-goal difference here over Roma, which, on paper looks like an easy thing to do.
It never looked like an easy thing because the first leg, if you watched it, we talked about it, and the results were very flattering. There was 2 own goals. There was a lot of penalty controversy. Like, Roma really played Barca even, and it looked 4-1, but it was an even game, And in this game, the coach, who we've talked about before, and he sticks to his 4-3-3 and everything, changed his formation for this particular game for the only time basically this season, and really flummoxed the Barca midfield. And Iniesta, Suarez, and Messi were just spectators.
Nullified, and that's amazing. That's I really couldn't believe it. We're sitting there watching Liverpool.
It looked like
City.
A team that wasn't playing for the coach. Like, to a certain level, because like they just kind of sat back and watched themselves get beat.
But I can't. But like at this level, like that shouldn't even be a thing. Like, fuck your coach.
Should or shouldn't is another
quarterfinals.
thing. Should or shouldn't is another thing. But like when one team is 100% behind what they're trying to do, and the other team is even 99%, that's a big thing,
Yeah.
And they said at halftime, PK tried to talk to the coach and said, let's switch to a 4-3-3. Like, let's have a formation change because they're fucking beating our system. And the guy told them, sit the fuck down. It's not your job. I'll do my job. We're going to stay with what we're doing.
Whoops.
This on a game when Dembele didn't start, which Dembele is a nice guy to stretch that team because he's fast and they're slow.
Yeah.
He had a good matchup in the first leg. Like, Valverde is a fucking dollar store coach in working a fucking...
No adjustment.
Barca is fucking ridiculous. He's underqualified for this job. His ceiling is being an Athletic Bilbao level coach. Like, if he gets fired from there, go to Sociedad, Betis. Like, there are teams that you can do, but like, he's clearly in over his head to tactically plan against Champions League coaches.
Imagine Salah on this Roma team.
Dude, they would completely overrun him. And I just... doing this 4-4-2 and trying to stay defensive, they point you to the stats, and yeah, your defense is working, but like Barca is shooting less a game, they're scoring less per game, they're very Messi dependent, they're outpossessed consistently. Like, this was one of, as far as upsets go, because of the first leg scoreline, it was huge, but not all the way surprising to me. Like, I didn't expect Barca was going to win the Champions League, and apparently neither did they.
No, absolutely. So they pull off the virtually impossible and defeat Barcelona 3-0 and advance. Roma taking on Liverpool next round for in a rematch of 1984. I actually saw a headline that was like, Roma will want revenge for 1980. Like, half the fucking team wasn't even born, dude. Get the fuck out of here.
I was thinking about revenge and
for
like
84.
even if it was like 3 years ago, it's like Roma's never in this position. They don't remember 1984. They just want to get to the fucking final.
Man.
Like, they don't need additional storylines. Like you have a path to the final.
I know they're glad they kept did not sell Checo to Chelsea.
Apparently, it was his decision. He was like, money ain't everything, and decided to just stay. He likes it there, and I think it's a smart decision because what he lacks is a bit of speed. And in Italy, he can dominate and do all the football skills that he's good at without having to run as much.
But in England, he's Giroud, basically.
Basically, that's what they wanted him for, so they went and got Giroud.
Giroud, exactly.
Who has been fucking actually one of the few success stories out of Chelsea this season, even though he's played about a third of it for them.
Oh, yeah. All right. Word up. So sad, man. That was a tough day for City and Barcelona supporters, man. Really tough.
Especially when a Real Madrid supporter is sitting there talking shit to you the whole time.
Moving along to Wednesday, we will start that off with the Bayern Sevilla 0-0. This is not.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. It was a 0-0 for the second leg. 2-1 first round, or the first leg. This does not inspire much confidence for Bayern going forward. There's not a lot of belief in them, but either way,
I think
they pull
Bayern
through.
Munich is going to win the Champions League.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Not that.
Anybody
like,
but
that,
actually go Roma, but
it's gonna suck that Robert Lewandowski is gonna be suspended the first leg against Real Madrid. But I think that
it really sucks.
they're really tripping about Arturo Vidal not playing, but that might lead to them putting in James and Thiago and all them in at the same time and playing an extra offensive team, which I think is what would cause Real Madrid matchup issues. So I think the Arturo Vidal injury might actually come out being a bit blessing in disguise. I think it frees up a position that somebody with more creative skills takes. And that when that happens, usually when Kroos and Modric have to chase people around, they kind of get out of the game, and I think they could do it.
Well, so much for Sevilla prioritizing Champions League over La Liga. That didn't go as planned.
Dude, Sevilla have had
So
beyond entertaining roller coaster. It's like a roller coaster in a circus. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have huge wins, embarrassing losses, entertaining draws this weekend. Like, Sevilla is just all over the place, but they gave Bayern Munich all they had in both legs. Like, the first half of the second game, Sevilla really put Bayern out of their game. Mm-hmm. And to the tune of Robert Lewandowski actually getting a yellow card, and he's not going to play first leg against Real again, which is going to be huge. But dude, they just have strikers sitting there. Sandro Wagner will play next, and he's huge, and he's
huge.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
And we're gonna get to that because with all that went on, the true talk of the football world in regards to European competition this past week was the Juventus Real Madrid matchup. Juventus, again, another 3-0 deficit, needing all 3 goals to at least get to extra time. And they came
getting
out
all 3 goals
and getting them. They came out with a purpose. They came out with a plan, and they executed. It was one of the best games I've probably seen all year.
It felt like in the NCAA tournament back in the day when you see a team that's coached well and another team that is just hugely more talented than them, and they give them everything that they have, and they lose in the last second. Kind of felt like that, except one of the teams is fucking Juventus, who owns Italy.
Yeah, yeah. Really tough though. Mandzukic with a couple goals, but their game plan executed to perfection, man.
To a certain level. I think that at the end, Mandzukic should have come off and been replaced, and I think the substitutions were actually quite uninspired. They were quite uninspired. the team towards the end, the last 10, 15 minutes, looked visibly much
they
more
were done.
gassed than
They were so
Juventus. And
No Dybala hurt.
Mehdi Benatia, before the controversial penalty that they got, should already have been sent off. He was going nuts. The pressure of the situation were getting to him. He fouled like 6 times in like 10 minutes. It was...
I actually want to say that I felt like the ref did a pretty good job reffing the game.
That was not to me, it wasn't an overly controversial. The big issue was that I think he should have given Buffon the respect and given him a yellow card.
Just for the emotion of the moment. You got to understand.
It's the 90th minute to go to the Champions League. Like, he's never won. Like, there's so much going on. You know the storyline. You made it about yourself by doing that. Mm-hmm. And it was like a little fuck you to the Buffon because he talked like he went crazy.
Yeah.
But the penalty was a penalty. It was a soft penalty, but it was a penalty.
Definitely.
Like, if it didn't get called, it would have been he didn't get called because it's soft, but there was still a foul there situation. You know what I'm saying? So, Mehdi Benatia did not help his case by running around acting like a complete idiot for 10 minutes and really putting himself in the eye of the referee. After doing that, you can't make a play where you put both your hands on somebody's back. And I always say this, even on this show.
And wrap your leg around the guy.
And wrap your leg around him. But like when you make fouls with your feet, unless it's a trip, like a lot of times you can get away with it. But when the referee sees your hand on somebody, you made the call easy for him. Yeah. Like after that, how much you pushed and this and that, like it's going at 100 miles an hour. You know, like
it's so disappointing from a neutral standpoint because I just wish like. He hadn't fouled him. I mean, let Buffon get the chance to save. Easier said than done.
He might not even have got the shot off, actually. Like, even if he had not fouled him, it needed still to be controlled and stuff.
That was so sad.
I was more mad at Mehdi Benatia for just the dump. Like, it was
his shit. He played an excellent game up to that point, too.
And all the complaints came after watching, like, 2 replays. Because in real life, everybody, like, we thought it was a foul. And then it was like, oh, maybe he didn't. And then it was, yeah, he kind of did. Like, and in that moment, either make the play or stay the fuck out the way and just, like, try to get in front. Like, don't do that. Like, that was...
Don't do that. Yeah,
don't do that.
So our reward as neutrals is to watch Ronaldo take his shirt off again. Stab me in the eye. So,
the flying vagina celebration.
But either way, man, what an amazing as like kind of blah the first legs were. The second, just an amazing second leg.
Oh yeah, it was
round of second
overall
legs.
Like one of the best like single match days in a fucking long time. Roma's fucking president jumping into the fountain after the game was fucking awesome. He got a fine and then he donated like tens of thousands of dollars to fucking fix up a bunch of fountains and stuff. He's like, fuck this. But
nice.
That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Liverpool fans going nuts after beating Man City was pretty fucking crazy, cool to watch. The Barca situation was just like they were very apathetic, so they got beat by a team that worked for it. So what are you gonna do?
So
it was interesting. Like there were so many talking points over the 4 games that usually it's not that much. It doesn't give back that much, you know.
True. Absolutely. We will provide you with a preview of next week's games next week. But we will mention the matchups: Liverpool at home to Roma for the first leg, and Bayern at home to Real Madrid. Of course, a lot can change in a week, but not that much. Injuries and such. But it looks tasty. I'm hoping for a Roma Bayern because I just can't do the other 2 teams. Either way,
Chelsea.
Yeah.
I would like to see maybe a Bayern Liverpool matchup in the final. I think that'd be fun to see. They're both offensively entertaining, so that's what I'm kind of hoping for.
I'm just so neutral
and
here.
Also, fuck Real Madrid.
Always, man. And I'm just so neutral here. I'm just underdog. Go for the underdog. So go Roma.
Yeah, so neutral.
Moving along. Moving along to the other European competition, also known as Thursdays. There was some just as exciting, crazy results in the second legs of these games as well. We're going to start you off with the Marseille RB Leipzig matchup, which came into this 1-0 Leipzig. And Marseille just had their way with RB.
We went from 1-0 Leipzig to 2-0 Leipzig and then explosion.
It was, wasn't it?
Because they scored first in that game, right? And then
but it's 1-1. It ended up being that they equalized, then RB went up 2-1, and then they dropped the guillotine.
Either way, Marseille had a slew of beautiful plays. It wasn't even just like mess ups and shit. Like, they opened them up in various fucking ways. Pulled their dicks out, slapped them with it. Like, there was just so much going on. It was kind of actually a little disturbing.
The guy affectionately known as the money grabbing cunt.
We've got Payet.
The boy put on a show though.
Yes, he fucking had one really nice goal and one world star.
Yo, is there anybody that curls a ball like him, man? Like,
only like 20 people.
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't see it that often. Like, that dude always has a vicious guy. I don't even know if he means to do it sometimes.
These days, you don't see it that often from him.
Nah, but he's been in form recently, and he was in form for this game. Just an amazing performance by him, man. Assists, one amazing goal called back, another amazing goal to put them up. They ended up winning this game 5-2, sending Leipzig home with their wings between their tails.
Yes, apparently Leipzig did not go to France with their Red Bull packed because they were a little... they got played off the fucking field. I don't even know what to make of it except that...
I wish I was at that
this
stadium.
year they're going to probably sell Timo Werner and...
Keita's gone.
Keita's already gone.
And they're like 7th in Bundesliga.
What's his name? The defender Upencampano or something? Upencampaño, the Uruguayan kid. Like, they're going to sell. They're going to buy too. But like, for winning trophies... At some point, they're going to need to have more longevity with their players and try to figure that out.
This is in my opinion, an abject failure of a season for them. They're going to finish out of Champions League, going to finish out of Europe, and them finishing in Champions League actually would have meant more money on the Keita sale.
Yes.
Tough. It's tough out there. But, you know, when you're selling Red Bull like crack.
But what I'm saying is when you're having, when you're immersing yourself in such a volatile situation, like monetarily, in terms of like, I'm selling, I'm buying, I hope this works out, I'm selling this guy for next year. Like, the way they play, they play very close to the fire. So yeah, that's sometimes you're gonna have a failure, and it's not gonna be an abject failure just because like their brand has fucking exploded into the world over the course of this season too. Like, so many more people know about Red Bull.
RB Leipzig. It's true.
You know,
it's true. So a business success, which is probably all they care about. But moving along to...
You can't expect to just come out of nowhere and just like dominate and always be in a German like Champions League spot, dude.
Well, they're just...
As you can see by the fact that there are like 9 other teams fighting for the spots right now.
True, but they have also come out of nowhere for domination of the Austrian league.
Which is
Salzburg.
Much easier to do.
That's the RB Salzburg. I know. It was all tongue in cheek, man. But
it's like the sugar-free RB that owns that one.
Sugar-free Leipzig. Salzburg. Salzburg, man, comes into this game down 4-2, but they have 2 away goals. You kind of called Lazio last week being susceptible here, even though they had this 2-goal lead. And Salzburg was down. They were down 1-0 up until the 56th minute. And then Lazio went to bed.
Yes. It was time to go home. You cannot be that ill-disciplined. You cannot give up multiple whole games in like all over the place and get saved by Ciro Immobile 90th minute, Ciro Immobile 93rd minute,
Yeah.
Felipe Anderson 22nd minute. Like, it's like ridiculously late. Like, they were due for somebody to be like, you know what? No.
Yeah. And there was definitely some wacky goals here, man, from deflections, poor goalkeeping, and an absolutely horrific back pass at one point. Like, when we talk about shitting the bed, they projection diarrhea, son.
Squeaky bum time. It got to them, man. They could not handle it.
At all. And Salzburg comes away 4-1 on this and advances to the semifinals.
Baila tu.
One Red
Ciao,
Bull,
Bella.
one Red Bull, one Red Bull down, the other one on the way up. The other two matchups: Sporting CP Atleti. Atleti come in with a 2-0 goal difference, and Sporting really put it at them, man. Kind of a lackluster performance by Atleti, but not an amazing performance by Jan.
Yes, Oblak is a fucking killer of a man.
Yeah, it wasn't for him, Atleti be at home.
But, you know, Barca this year, the season has been Ter Stegen, Umtiti, and Messi. And there it has been Oblak, like Godin and them in the middle, and Griezmann. And that's, like, they're coming to an end because, like, the season's going and they're getting more and more, like, there's not a huge squad, but they did what they had to do, man. Take a 1-0 away loss and just go through, you know?
Oh, for sure. And they did. And, I mean, they really did almost give this up, man. Sporting was on their money since they got all their players back.
Yeah.
From suspension. From team suspension.
From all team everywhere, everybody suspension.
So
Dust was the only guy. Not
so
suspended.
expectedly, Atleti advance, and Arsenal away to CSKA looked like they were about to do some Arsenaling.
Yes, until a person that is known for being unclutch decided to become clutch, and
It was a nice goal. A really nice goal.
yes, well bent.
Well, yeah. Welbeck bent it up to the corner, pretty much put it away. CSKA had their chances here, man.
Yeah, they had their chances. They hit the crossbar. They made many moves. I always crack up every time I see them, and I see one of the Berzutsky brothers because they're so fucking old and they've been the starting, like, you know, you're infamous in them, and Akinfeev, who has played a shitload of European games and never had a European shutout. That's the kind of football that CSK provide, and it was about time that they had their defensive breakdown, and he put them away.
Yep. So Ramsey hit him up in stoppage time for a 2-2 draw. Arsenal advance. So again, we'll do the preview next week. The semifinals looks like Arsenal at home to Atletico for the first leg, and Marseille at home to Salzburg. I'm just gonna say I think Arsenal's kind of lucky to get Atleti over 2 legs rather than to see them in the final.
Why?
I just think you got a better chance playing them twice, man.
You got a better chance fighting a bully 2 times? Like, nah, you don't want
bully.
to play them twice. These are bitches.
More time to fuck
especially
up.
if
More
you're a
time to fuck
fucking,
up. That's the way I
especially
look
if
at
you're
it.
a bitch like Arsenal are, you don't go up to the guy twice. Like, you want to play Atletico Madrid as little as possible.
I disagree.
Especially, okay, I'll go even one step further. You want to play the best team left in the tournament as little as possible.
As little as possible. Okay, that's fair. Moving along from Europe. What an amazing European week that was. We're going to switch this up, as I mentioned before. We'll come back to EPL and La Liga, but we're going to go right into our games. We're going to open this up with another major league being over, basically. Ligue 1 was wrapped up this weekend in emphatic fashion with a pure drubbing, a spanking to just let you know, don't fuck around with us. We will buy all your players. We will fucking smack you around. We will beat you by 17 points and win the league with 5 games to go. PSG put it on Monaco, something awful.
Yes, and more impressively, they did it without Neymar, who's not been a part of the equation for a while, and in this particular game, without Kylian Mbappe either.
Yep.
So they basically decided, we're gonna leave your team's budget out of the game
times 2. $400 million euros on the
yes, including your stadium ownership rights and shit. Like, we're gonna just keep that on the bench, bring in motherfuckers like people don't even fucking know, and still give you a good old touchdown.
This was 4-0, 27 minutes in. Done.
Yes, fucking Giovanni Lo Celso. Yo.
Who?
Giovanni Lo motherfucking Celso.
Yo, Lo Celso. Good God. 7 shots on goal for PSG.
Yeah, and
6 goals because 1 was an old goal.
Yes, bye.
What the fuck, Monaco?
And not even what the fuck, Monaco. Why is your fucking striker having the own goal?
Yeah, where is he? What is he doing? Where is he at down
He's
there?
on the wrong side of the scoreboard. Edison Cavani had a really good game. He had a goal
header.
and an assist. A nice goal, yes.
Di Maria with the chip.
Yes, he assisted him. And Di Maria also had a couple of goals. Pastore had a couple of assists. They played it. They beat the fuck out of him. And Monaco, the one person at Monaco that should be really happy is Yuri Tillemans.
Why is this?
Because he came in on the 82nd minute after the game was done. And he's one of their biggest purchases last season. He's had a good season. He wasn't part of the game. They don't know nothing about this.
Oh, fuck it. No doubt.
It's like, I wasn't there.
This is the 5th straight win over Monaco for PSG. They wrap up the league title, as mentioned, 17 points clear, 5 games left. Man, Mbappe should feel ashamed, dude. Just shit on your own boys like that. They didn't even play you.
Yeah, this is like, all right, I'm going to sit this one out. Y'all got this.
Man of the match. My notes say, who fucking cares?
Yeah, that was like, I didn't even think about that. Okay. Yes, there was.
There was the starting 11 for
so,
PSG.
All right, I think it's gonna be Edison Di Lo Celso.
2 goals out of nowhere. Like, okay.
I have to give it to Edison Cavani, Giovanni Lo Celso, then Angel Di Maria, and Pastore. These are the man of the match.
Men of the match done, dude. Congratulations, man. PSG trophy number 2 for the season. But that was like the minimum. We know you didn't spend all that money to win fucking Ligue 1, even though you didn't win last year. Either way, man, league title's a league title. That is their 5th in 6 years, I believe. Moving along.
5th and 6th years of what?
Titles.
But they didn't win it last year.
Monaco.
Huh?
Monaco.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I thought you said. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry.
Moving along to another title, the one of only 2 title races left in Europe of the Big 5, La Liga. Barcelona hosting at that time 3rd place Valencia. Barcelona with a little bit of a gritty victory here, man. This was an interesting game because we've talked about Valencia for so long, not really doing anything,
being dominated statistically, yet
Absolutely.
showing a good team effort and pulling out the results has been their thing for the past, since the coach really put a stamp on it. Like, they struggled last season, but this year they've been doing their thing. And in this game, it must be said, they actually really went at it and like should have come off this game with a lot more.
at least a point.
At least a point, but I would even go as far as to say they deserved a victory for this game.
Yeah, outshot Barca, 10 shots in the box for Valencia. And this was a crazy game. We talked about Ter Stegen. Like, he both had an amazing game and a couple of, like, what the fuck moments.
Dude, when he gave the ball away and then he made the spectacular save.
Like padding stats. Just padding stats.
He's like, here. Oh, shit. D9.
Some crazy saves. But also, he gave up that other goal. Almost gave up that other goal when he came out to meet the guy and Piqué saved it on the line.
Yes, Piqué had a nice game.
Yeah, he did.
Overall, Barca looked lethargic. Messi, he did his thing on and off, but like he didn't really go after the game. Coutinho had a really, really, really good game. He had an assist off a corner and then a beautiful, beautiful pass to Luis Suarez, made in Liverpool.
Yep.
Midfield to striker, and Suarez, you give him a chance like that, you're going to make motherfuckers look stupid.
Yep, and they get the penalty call in the 87th minute, and Parejo basically powers it past Ter Stegen. But again, to that point about Ter Stegen, like he had that, and it just too much for him. Like he went the right way, put two hands on it, and it still went past him.
I can't call out somebody for not saving penalty. Like out of all shots, that's
sure.
one where I'm like, yeah, he could have had it, but like a penalty is like a 95% success rate thing.
Yeah, for sure. With all that being said, man, this ends a run of 5 straight wins for Valencia. Barcelona remain up top, with an 11-point lead on Atletico. Valencia fall to 4th place. But they are well in position. They're good.
They're well higher than where they anticipated they would be at the beginning of the season. If you told Valencia that they would be in 4th place with a big gap between them and 5th, they would. This dude should get all types of bonuses.
Yeah, they're definitely good with that. Man of the match?
I'd have to give it to Phil Coutinho, actually.
Absolutely.
He did not finish the match, but he really had a big impact on it.
Excitement for next season concerning Coutinho and Dembele.
Yeah, I wish that I don't know what they're gonna do with Valverde, but at some point he needs to go, because taking Coutinho and Iniesta on 2 different sides of a 4-4-2 and like them not playing close tiki-taka with each other is kind of stupid.
How long before Xavi gives up his personal slave labor force in Qatar and comes and coaches?
Man, he doesn't have to give that up. He doesn't come and coach. Keep his slaves.
It'll always be there. Huh?
Yeah. That's a good way, dude.
Because he straight up went and
put them slaves in escrow.
Awful, man. Awful. I see that happening relatively soon, to be honest.
It has to, because like I said earlier, the coach
need somebody with the Barca,
manager
the Barca
is
DNA.
not of this caliber. It's not like whether he has the Barca DNA or not isn't like that's a added bonus that you have after a certain level of success. That level of success, I don't think he will achieve with this team. They're gonna have an undefeated season if they finish the next 6 games without losing, but is one of the least satisfying seasons in terms of watching them play.
Absolutely.
And it feels like he's just gaming the stats, and because of that, he's going to kind of checkmate the people into not being able to firing over the fucking summer. He's going to come back next year. It's going to be a wasted year.
If he was on the other side of this rivalry with Los Blancos, they wouldn't give a fuck.
Oh shit, they might fire you at halftime, homie.
He'd be
dude, he'd be fired like 5 times by now.
They don't give a fuck about La Liga. They're like, you're all right. We're going to do maybe something that we don't normally do, which is look at a little bit of the relegation battle this time. Crystal Palace hosting Brighton and Hove. This was a hugely exciting 34 minutes that the game occurred in.
Yep.
Crystal Palace comes away 3-2. Tell us about it.
Fantastic game. Felt like watching a championship football game, and it was action packed, mistakes, high quality, low quality. Like it was a back and forth game. It felt very much like an English football game should feel, and that's why I was like really wanted to kind of get into it a little bit. Crystal Palace, when Zaha's playing and him and Townsend are up front, are a mid-tier, upper mid-level team.
Yeah.
And when he's not playing, they're a championship team.
I can't remember the exact number of games, but they had, it was like 8 games in before they even scored.
Yeah.
It was awful at the beginning of the year, and that was without Zaha, just to kind of harp on the point of how important he is to them.
Yeah, and he's put them on there his back, and he scored a beautiful goal.
I can't wait to see him in the EFL Cup for City next year.
And then there was that.
But yeah, man, he opens it up 5th minute. Tompkins puts them up 2-0. 14th minute, And then Glenn Murray for Brighton pulls it back in the 18th minute.
But then come 2 wonder goals from 2 underrated stars that are...
Beautiful header by Zaha in the 24th minute.
Yes. And the Izquierdo speed for their second goal, too.
Absolutely.
Was beautiful.
The finish
that kid has really actually... should be given, like, he is kind of their Zaha, because his emergence has really moved Brighton into, he's won them 3 or 4 games personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brighton Hove, man, new boys to the league. It looks like all the new boys are going to stay up, man.
Yeah, I think that
cool.
if Brighton had actually started Anthony Knockaert, as they call him, even though it's spelled Knockaert, it would have helped, and they could have played him and Izquierdo on 2 sides. Izquierdo's emergence has kind of led him to the bench, but he's a dribbling machine, French kid from the championship years from them, and I think they could have used him. It would have been at least 3-3 if he had played the whole game. He came on as a sub later. He was kind of getting into it. He's a moody motherfucker, but...
Brighton had 10 shots in the box, and they had 2 wonderful chances in the 82nd minute. But great saves by Thug Passion, goalkeeper Hennessy. Yeah, but I mean, two great saves, man, and that could have stole the point for Brighton, but alas, it did not. Crystal Palace walk away with a 3-2 victory. They moved 6 points clear of relegation with 34 points. Southampton has a game in hand on them, though. Brighton is in 13th with 35 points, also with the game in hand. Man of the match,
Willy Fred.
Yeah, Zaha.
Mr. Zaha.
For sure. That's an easy one.
Yes.
On the other end of the spectrum, in the English Premier League, the marquee game of the week, Tottenham hosting Manchester City. Manchester City now needing 2 victories after losing to Manchester United last week to secure the title. And they got 1.
Yes, they need 2 victories, or a victory and a loss by their closest rivals and the league standings. They went out and did their fucking job. Got put ahead early by none other than Jesus. Jesus!
Jesus. Gin and Jesus. Gin and Jesus.
He put him in ahead, and then
beautiful pass.
Beautiful company assist. He finishes it off nicely, and then Mr. Even though Harry Kane has had so many goals, like I think that Mo Salah is clearly Liverpool's player of the season, but I think that Christian Eriksen is the player of the season for.
I feel like he started the season a bit slow, but man, he's been really nice, man.
But he got a goal, brought him back. It looked like it was going to get interesting, but then City decided, nah.
Lloris with my Tottenham buddy keeps saying that Lloris has been concussed for like 2-3 years because he makes awesome saves and then bonehead plays.
Lloris is a player who's at the crossroads in football times because he's really good at saving the ball and his reaction saves are really good, but his foot skills are not on par. So when teams are like these days, like your goalkeeper has to be really good at dribbling, and when he's not that's a shortcoming on a team that wins games 1-0, that you can't have that.
Yeah, that's a good call. My buddy also had mentioned that ever since Tottenham really kind of dedicated themselves to playing out of the back more, that Lloris is his deficiencies show a little bit.
Exactly. When you start playing it through your goalkeeper, then Yeah. He's about who was the Barca goalkeeper. I mean the Man City goalkeeper last season, the Chilean kid.
Bravo.
Yeah, Claudio Bravo, and he couldn't move the ball at the speed that they moved the ball at, and that's why they had to go get Ederson.
Yep. Did you think it was a penalty on Lloris, on Sterling, for the second goal?
I do not ever make those calls about Raheem Sterling because this is like a never-ending quest. It was or it wasn't, but it was fine.
And Sterling was again. It's just total Sterling in this game. He was busy, man.
Yeah.
He had good passes. He got
Bad passes.
Yeah, bad. He missed a wide open goal.
Yeah.
No surprise there. Where he fucking shook up Lloris,
Yep.
shook up another dude, and then just missed.
And Leroy missed quite a few opportunities. It looks like he's burnt out by the season.
He had a pretty bad game, actually.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne getting pulled back further in the three-man midfield has made him look a lot less dominant than he was earlier in the season. Pep needs to work out a way to have his team play the whole year. This is not Germany. You cannot play for 2 quarters of the year and just win it by February. Like, that's why they got bounced from the Champions League, you know?
Yep.
Like,
So-
they're kind of winded.
So Eriksson had pulled that back at half. So they go into the second half. Pep made some defensive adjustments. And City come through, man. 3-1. Complete a season sweep of the Spurs.
Yes, and on the Spurs, the City, congrats. That was a wicked performance. They did it without no Fernandinho or Guerrero. And it just showed the gap in class, though, because the longer the game went, Spurs were more of a gadget team that had shown their card already, so like they just couldn't hang, you know.
Just couldn't step.
But
So with that,
I did not get why Son was on the bench. He has had a fucking year on the big game of the season. I don't think that Eric Lamela has earned a starting point, a start over him. That guy should have played. Like, that was not... Mauricio Pochettino fucked up. He brought him on later as a fucking sub, but like...
So Lamela, but Lamela usually plays more central.
No, he's like, when they bought him from Roma, he's a winger. Like,
But
on the
for them-
4-3-3, he
for
plays
them,
on the outside. He
for them,
plays
he plays more
closer
central.
to the center, but like if
Son is
Eriksen,
straight on the wing.
I mean, Son is a much more pure winger. Like, this guy starts in the wing and cuts in to shoot more than to assist. But I just... on his own games, when he's playing nice, Lamela is nice, but like he's a very up and down player, whereas Son has had an amazing season, and I think that he deserved the start.
I think the other thing for the Spurs in particular is that Lamela, outside of Eriksson, is really the other creative player though that they have in the middle of the field that can open it up like that, and he did have the assist to Eriksson.
Understood, but lacking the players in a certain area doesn't mean that you should take out one of the things that has been your strength and put him in over that.
And Son being the type of player that you would liken to more of, in my mind at least, like somebody who could give City's back line a problem. A la
Exactly.
Liverpool.
That's the thing, is that like how Mane is, Mo Salah is with Liverpool.
Yep.
This kid is just a fucking headache, and you play him for 70 minutes, have him running around, and then you bring Eric Lamela in to finish them off with some skills. That's how I played.
Come on, son.
Why Son ain't playing, son?
What the fuck, man? All right, man. So again, with that victory, at that point, Manchester City just need one more win or a loss by United. So they sit in first still, obviously. Spurs sit in fourth place, comfortable, but in a comfortable lead up on Chelsea, but still within striking distance of United in second. Man of the match.
Bernardo.
Okay.
I'm just playing.
I was going to say, because
I'm just playing. He came on as a sub. No, he did come. He did play this game. He came on as a sub. Man of the match, I would have to give it to Ilkay.
Ilkay. I got Vincenzo.
Just, I mean, that makes sense, but like just the fact that Fernandinho's not playing and they still kept the ball moving and everything, and I like how he's been playing. He's been getting goals for the team.
I got important stat for me on Company is 90 minutes played. He had an assist, 8 clearances, 2 blocks, 2 interceptions, 5 tackles, and 89% passing.
Is he when Trippier hit him? He lost his shit, dude. He's like, yo, better stop that shit.
Yeah. Like, come on, son.
Like, dude, it's a contact sport.
Oh, so moving along to our next section, man. EPL Roundup. Saturday gets started with a pretty fucking awesome game too that we could have looked at, but chose not to. But we'll talk about it here. Southampton hosting Chelsea. And I woke up to a 2-0 Southampton lead.
Yes, Dusan Tadic and I don't know how the fuck to say that, Bednarik had started it off. Dusan Tadic scored in the 21st minute. Halftime, they went in at 1-0 Southampton. They came back. 15 minutes later, Bednarik scores. In the 60th minute, he scores. Now it's 2-0. You wake up. In the 61st minute, Olivier Giroud comes onto this game.
Come clean, son. Giroud, the damager. The damager comes on.
Yes, Alvaro Mortuata comes off, and they're like, we need to do some damage up in here.
Yeah.
So they get Giroud the damager.
Instant, dude.
70th minute, Giroud has 1 goal. 75th minute, Hazard scores.
Hazard, yep.
78th minute, they put these bitches to sleep.
Done.
Impact motherfucking sub.
Yeah, Giroud, man. I told my friends this weekend that I feel like no matter what, like I feel like you have to take them to Russia for the World Cup team, just for shit like this, just for that moment when you can't fucking unlock a team.
I mean, it's not like they have like their striker options are, because Benzema is not with the team because he's a blackmailer.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's gonna be between like him and Kevin Gamero, then he has a case.
And Griezmann. Right?
No, Griezmann is gonna be behind them or 10? Like off of them, like something like that. Like you play off of the main striker, the way like how he plays with Diego or even Kevin Gamero in the Europa Cup games. Yeah. Griezmann plays right behind them and floats while they hold up the number 9 spot.
Giroud, a player of another era who probably would have been a monster back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you know how to use him, he's a pretty monster right now. The most goals as a substitute outside of, I think, who's that little short dude? Jermaine Defoe.
Oh yeah,
you know, like,
Defoe
foot.
Yeah. All right. So as exciting as that was, it was followed up with Swansea City hosting Everton, and Swansea did all the scoring in this 1-1 draw.
Yes, fucking Kyle Naughton's a fucking wanker. He hit him up. Swansea outplayed Liverpool for large parts of Everton for large parts of the game. Jordan Ayew got him the point, but they should feel aggrieved. They should feel like they should have got 3 points from this game.
Everton just awful, man. I'm amazed every time I look at the table and they're sitting in the top half still.
It seems like the fans and
they had one good stretch the whole year.
The fans and the team don't like fucking Sam Allardyce. So like the club just did a fucking what do you call it? A poll to ask the fans what they feel about the direction of the club, and I'm afraid for the result because it's gonna all be like fuck Sam Allardyce. He's a relegation coach.
Pretty much. Well, that's where you guys were, but
let's take him back there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, speaking of relegation, Huddersfield got a very valuable 3 points by defeating Watford with a 91st minute goal by Thomas Ince or Ince?
Tom Ince. He's the son of a Manchester United and Liverpool legend Paul Ince.
All right.
And he saved them in the 91st minute. Mr. Tom Ince. Go on, boy.
So, outside of City, and I'd say maybe even Liverpool at this point, man, I'd say story of the year would damn near be Burnley. Goals in the 6th and 9th minute were enough for them to beat Leicester 2-1.
Yes, Chris Wood and Shane Long.
They're in 7th place, barely.
2 points behind Arsenal.
Yeah, they're looking at possible European football next year.
Jamie Vardy keeps at his consolation goal tour.
Jamie Vardy, who made a cameo appearance in one of my dreams this past week, looked very sad at the fact that we were using the Vardy party as our intro. I don't know, man.
So,
Saturday ends with Liverpool doing what Liverpool does with goals from
steamrolling.
Salah, Mane, and Firmino.
Yes.
Same old.
To fulfill the song, you know.
Does anybody have worse celebrations than Firmino? I'm sick of looking at his dentures, man. Hey. Word up.
He's an annoying little fucker.
He is, man. But he just keeps doing his thing, man.
He's like destroying it for them this year. He's amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Sunday, we wake up to the gem of Newcastle hosting Arsenal. Perez's goal was sick.
Yes, Jose Perez fucking slew them nice. And then Matt Ritchie hit him up in another too. But Arsenal away this season, and especially since January, have been a fucking joke.
Dude, they said Arsenal is the only team of all 5 European leagues, top to bottom, talking second division, third division, that have not won a game away in the new year.
That's because West Brom won this weekend.
Which leads us to the next game. The game of the day. The game of the week for me. Shit.
On one game, they became better than Manchester United and Arsenal.
Fucking at home, Old Trafford, bottom of the table, West Bromovich.
Sure.
West Brom Albion, man. Fucking see off Manchester United 1-0.
J. Rodriguez.
Jay.
1-0,
man. Appreciate you, homie.
Yes, and more importantly, Manchester United. At some point, you're gonna have to address the fact that the Emperor has no clothes. You can't just keep telling us he does.
Yeah,
like, this is ridiculous. So
Pogba off at the 60th minute, like same old story.
I mean, but we are not talking about McTominay. Why does nobody ever ask me about McTominay?
McDominate.
Yes.
Oh my god, dude. So typical Moo fashion, does what he does, and it's just
calls out everybody.
Total microcosm of their season to go and beat the champions and then go lose to the already relegated fucking West Brom. What are they, man? The ostriches or some shit? It's some type of bird. Anyway, man. Appreciate that, man. Monday gets a West Ham Stoke draw, 1-1. Blast from the past.
Great guys that scored.
Crouch and Carroll.
Yes.
Man, Crouch 6-7, Carroll 6-7. The Carroll goal was nice, man. He caught that shit out the air and won. Boop. It was really nice.
I mean, he's got a string of volleys and scissors kicks and whatever, and then 6 months on the bench.
On the bench.
It's hard to be the strong man on your team when your joints are not that strong.
Yep. So, with that, Manchester City seal up their 3rd title in 6 years. Thanks to Manchester United's flop against West Brom. United sit 2nd, 16 points back of City. Liverpool 3rd, a point back of United. United with a game in hand. And Tottenham 4th place, 67 points. Again, we mentioned Burnley sitting only 2 points back of Arsenal. Really excited for that, man. That would be awesome.
That would be, and if that is what it's going to take for Arsene Wenger to leave, then I'm sure Arsenal fans are...
They'll take it.
They'll take it? Man, there's some bunch of mopey fucks, though.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time of abuse, man. Of watching Arsene.
They're like, why me?
Relegation stands as West Brom, Stoke, and Southampton. Stoke really needed that 3 points, man. They did not get it. Southampton just flopping all around. But still not totally out of it. Golden Boot sits with Salah with 30 goals. Kane with 25. Aguero 21.
Kane didn't claim this week's Eriksen goal, huh?
What?
He was on the field. That was his goal.
I looked at it and went in. Word up. Gonna move along to the La Liga roundup. Friday, Mini City Girona hosting Real Betis, who's been nothing but on their way up, and Betis gets the 1-0.
Girona gets a bunch of goals disallowed, all kind of controversy, but Betis's homegrown veteran Joaquin assists to a man called Moron, and they beat them.
God, it's the beautiful game for a reason. Saturday wakes up with a pretty interesting game, man. Sevilla Villarreal. So here we are, Europa spot competition. You know, they're all around the same area in the table. 2 red cards in this game.
Yes, and one of them was the worst kind of impact substitution you could ever do. Ben Yedder came on in the 54th minute, and in the 62nd minute, he had a double yellow. He lasted 8 minutes in this game. We were praising him for slewing Manchester United a couple of weeks ago. Welcome to the other side of the coin.
To the other side, man. There was also a penalty save in this game. Nolito missed the penalty.
But Nolito came in as a super sub, basically. He came in, missed a penalty, scored a goal, and had an assist.
Hola, Nolito. So Villarreal was up 2-0 going into about the 70th minute or so. And in a 4-minute period, Sevilla pulled his back. 2-2. Walk away with the point.
Sevilla doing their thing, but they should have felt
Up
that
and
they
down.
should have got more from it. But these are 2 teams that have been comedically up and down this year. So,
Yep, no doubt. Legendary Leganes hosting Celta, and they come away with the 1-0.
yes, Mike Angel Guerrero, Miguel Angel, put him away. And Celta, they're a good offensive team, so in any game where their offense isn't clicking, they're going to probably lose.
Yep.
Not even get a tie.
Las Palmas hosting Sociedad. Las Palmas takes the 1-0.
Oyarzabal from Iraramendi.
Yep.
Asier Iraramendi assisted to Mr. Oyarzabal.
Working on your enunciations, man.
It's fucking nuts. Like, there's so many syllables in this shit and so many fucking letters. Why are there 3 L's in one? Like,
man, talk to the Dutch about shit like that. Too many consonants. Anyway, Bilbao with hosting Deportivo, man. Deportivo in the relegation zone. Yet they came away with a huge 3 points here, man. Bilbao disappointing.
very disappointing from Bilbao, but even though the results don't all the way show it, the Clarence Seedorf time is actually helping Depor. In the last 5 or 6 games, they've got like 2 wins and a draw, I think, which was not even
The case
close to the
before,
kind
yeah.
of football they were playing. And the biggest highlight from this game was when the ball got kicked into the air and Clarence Seedorf controlled it beautifully. Impressed all his bench. They were talking about that.
Did you watch this game? Or
No,
something?
I saw that fucking video. It was about 8 seconds long.
Oh, no doubt. Huge win for Deportivo, man. Sunday, Eibar Alaves. Alaves walked away with the 1-0.
Guidetti is the score.
Word.
Yeah, nobody watched it. Not even in Eibar.
Not even in Eibar, right?
Not in a bar, not in a restaurant.
Lower mid-table teams, like just nothing to even really play for. No stakes here. Atletico, though, keeping pace best they can with Barcelona with the 3-0 over Levante. Torres with the goal.
Torres with the goal, 100 goals for a club, and that's a club of in the Big Five. I think that's like 6 or 7 other people currently that have done that.
Does this dude just live in a dream world? He said he hopes it's not his last goal for Atletico. Bruh, you're old as shit now.
I mean, there's still like a fucking 4 or 5 games left. I hope it's not his last goal for Atletico too. Maybe win the Europa Cup for them.
Yeah, true.
He's not gonna get older than he is by far between now and May.
Not by far. Not by far. It's true. Getafe hosting Espanyol, and Getafe with the 1-0.
Yes, the 1-0 goal was nice. It was some intricate, weird free kick that they did that got him completely offside.
No doubt.
And they played with 10 men, and Damian Suarez is the one who scored the goal.
So the bottom of the table, Malaga hosting Real Madrid, and they pulled one back in stoppage time, but typical 2-1 Real Madrid.
They got Isco. He had a goal and
Isco
an assist.
balled out.
And Casemiro scored the
That
other
dude's
goal. Like Isco, Ronaldo, of course, is the main man on that team, but the second best offensive player this season has by far been Isco. Like Toni Kroos and Modric were hurt for a long time, and like they were off, but like he's been consistent this year.
Isco a baller, man. All right, La Liga sits at Top 4 being Barcelona with 82 points, Atletico with 71, Real Madrid 67, and Valencia with 645. At least my notes say. 64. So 5th, 6th, and 7th sit as Real Betis and Villarreal with 52 and 48 respectively. Sevilla a point behind Europe qualification with 47. Relegation, Malaga, Las Palmas, Deportivo. Deportivo is really only like 5 points back. It's still a long climb. It'll be tough to see them do it, but be nice. Be cool if they could. Top scorers remain Messi 29, Ronaldo 23, Suarez adds a goal 23. And that is La Liga. And we shall move on to our forwards who have been lonely with no link-up play all episode. The prestigious and egregious D4G award section starts with our Dude of the Week, and it goes to...
Dude of the Week goes to the man, Pep Guardiola.
In a week that you get sent off at halftime from your Champions League game, still got to pay due here at the City, because we probably won't talk much about them the rest of the year.
Yeah, wicked way to win the league. One of the most impressive seasons, if not the most impressive season in Premier League history, and they put it to bed with a very impressive win over Tottenham. Yeah, they didn't do both, but I think winning the Premier League on this weekend can carry you past getting knocked out of any competition.
Absolutely. There are only 4 other teams that have locked up the league this early. No team has done it with 6 games left. So that was pretty impressive. They had an 18-game win streak. Let's not forget about that. And total a 30-game unbeaten streak dating back to last year. So that just kind of provides some context for the style of play. They're still in line to set records for points and goals scored. An amazing season so far. It'll be interesting to see how they play the rest of the year as far as he's just going to... I mean, these dudes want to play World Cup. He's going to play them.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to rotate the squad and experiment, and Zinchenko and all of them are going to get more chances, but yeah, he's going to play them. They also don't want to sit either. You still want to be sharp. You want to be rested, but you want to be sharp.
That's a good point. They play nothing but pretty much bottom of the table teams going forward.
That can kind of be
good.
Testing, because
yeah, they're still
those
playing.
guys are fighting.
Yeah, they're still playing. Goal of the week goes to...
we had I suggested Naldo's goal for Schalke in a 2-0 over their bitter rivals Dortmund, which was a free kick from distance that got tapped and they blasted the shit out of. But the Dimitri Payet, the 3-1 goal against RB Leipzig, easily the best. That was it had a dribble, a crossover, it had it all, man.
Yeah,
and the finish was just spectacular.
Sick finish, man. Dimitri Payet with goal of the week. And our Twat Happened moment is from the 3rd tier Russian league, FC Ungunst. Tell us about it, man.
Apparently Ungunst means bear. Because motherfuckers brought a game to the pregame, you know how you have the handshake and then sometimes the president or something would come down and shake people's hands? Nah, got a bear.
A motherfucking bear.
Man. And nobody was really that shook. Everybody's just chilling.
They're like, hey, when you're in the 3rd tier of Russia, you probably play with a bunch of fucking bears as it is, son.
He probably, all the players probably talked him into it. He's like, yo, just bring him in. That's a homie.
That's the dude. Getting fucked up after the game. A little Stoli. Word up, man. SDR Awards upcoming next week, man. Not much going on in the EPL in regards to marquee matchups. However, FA Cup semi-finals are this weekend. Tottenham, Manchester United, and Chelsea, Southampton.
Chelsea, Southampton. I think Southampton has already blown their load. If they're trying to still survive, they're probably just going to give in and try to
survive.
Try to survive
EPL,
in the Premier League somehow. So we'll see how that goes. But
Tottenham United, man. One of them needs a trophy.
I hope that Tottenham can fucking at least make the FA Cup final and because
play for a trophy.
Yeah. I know the coach claims he doesn't care about it, but
for
4 or
culture.
5 years from now, if you finished a bunch of teams, like a bunch of times second place and never made a final or won anything, like you're forgotten. Like,
Yeah.
if you win it though, you won it.
And I think we talked about that, like when City started their financial revolution. That was the first thing they won. It was the FA Cup.
Build on
So
it.
you got it, man. You got to start somewhere. La Liga, also, well, Cup life. Barcelona Sevilla Copa del Rey final. So as much as people say they don't play, I'm pretty sure both teams will try out strong squads for this game.
Oh yeah. They're both probably gonna play on their strong squads. Barca might play Chilosan instead of Ter Stegen. That's the
That's
one
about the
change
extent of
that
it.
might
Okay.
have happened.
Atleti hosting Betis.
That should be interesting.
Major game for
Betis
Atleti.
and for Betis is they have a bunch of guys they're fighting, but like they're in really good position, and it should be fun. It's a really offensive team against a really good defensive team.
Looking at Serie A, we have midweek games this week. Crotone hosting Juventus and Napoli hosting Udinese. I'm just mentioning those because of their ramifications and lead up to this weekend's game of Juventus-Napoli. This is do or die. This is the last gasp breath for Napoli. If they don't fucking win probably both of these games, it's definitely over. You think it's over, but
Yeah, it's been over.
no doubt. Man, I hope Napoli wins. I hope Juventus drops some points just so the game is a little more interesting on Sunday.
This past weekend, 0-0 against AC Milan really put the final nail in the coffin for Napoli, I think.
Yep, no doubt. Bundesliga, all these like second, third, fourth place teams have been playing each other. Leverkusen's had a run of playing everybody, and BVB hosts Dortmund host Leverkusen.
Yeah, Leon Bailey is looking really good for Leverkusen, and the coach and Julian Brandt and stuff. It's going to be a fun game. And Michy Batshuayi might actually miss the World Cup due to his ankle injury that he came off for this weekend.
That really sucks.
Yeah, they said they've already declared him out for the season.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
Right?
That really sucks, man. Well, on that note, this
Anthony
match
Martial, you can go to Dortmund.
there. That would be real nice. Not for United though. This match is in the books, man. Diving for Glory, episode 34. That's what it is. As always, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate anyone who takes the time to check us out. Don't forget, Diving for Glory attempts to post every Monday. We will be back on that. Much promises, man. Check us on iTunes and divingforglory.com. And now you can also find us on YouTube. Man, follow us on Twitter at Diving for Glory and Facebook as well. Follow it, hashtag it, like it, man. Until next week, Corciola and Solomon.
We out.
Match.
Diving.
He's not a man. There's nothing more to say.
Diving.